Hello. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Mayor. Everybody else, fantastic scene. Absolutely fantastic scene. I'll talk about these in just a minute or two because they're beautiful. And the banners, not just the sort of astonishing banners, the genuinely old ones, but the beautiful ones that have been made by schools and for schools recently. It's just great. Absolutely. As you said, I worked in Felling for a decade and a half at what used to be Highfield, but which is now Thomas Hepburn School. I loved it. Loved the town and always have done. And it's wonderful to be back. And it's a remarkable place. This is a remarkable event. Let's first of all say this, because these people that we are remembering, they either died or they suffered or they struggled over 100 years ago. And we are still talking about them. Isn't that an extraordinary thing? In the past, when soldiers went off to war, nobody remembered them afterwards. In the long ago past, if they put up any sort of memorial at all, it was a big victory arch or a column or something like that to the heroes or the generals in charge. Nobody remembered the ordinary people and the ordinary people from the ordinary bits of town. They just didn't. If you look at the memorials from the past, one church that I know, for example, they were restoring it and they dug up one of the walls, and underneath one of the walls there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bodies that had been just stuffed in there after the Battle of Otterburn in 1388. Nobody remembered them, nobody put up a memorial, they chucked them in the ground and they forgot about them. And you know that still happens in lots of places. But here, it doesn't. We started to change. In fact, Felling, I might be wrong about this, but Felling might be one of the first places in the world where it started to change. There's a monument in Heworth churchyard to the Felling pit disaster of May 1812. And do you know, those of you who become interested in history or who are interested in history, you try and think. It's got a list of all the people who died in Felling. Some of them were 7 and 8 and 9. You try and think. You try and find anywhere in the world where in 1812 ordinary people were being recorded and their memories and their sadness has been recorded. And that's what we have gone on to do. We started building war memorials and memorial parks. We started having health centres, wonderful, not great monuments, but dignified memories of people, just their names. One place in the northeast, not only do they not start off with the generals and put the privates at the bottom, a lot of them, they're just in alphabetical order, privates, colonels, generals, just mixed in. One place in the northeast, the war memorial is it's alphabetical, but it's the first names. All the Allens are first, and the Bryans second, and so on. Because what matters are the people, the ordinary people who died. And the fact is, it shows how civilized, how good we have become at caring for people, that we remember their suffering and the suffering of those who loved them. And that we're still doing it 100 years on is amazing. And that brings me to these exquisite panels down here. Felling Park has always been noted for its flowers. There used to be, in days in the past when we had lots of dosh, lots of money, there used to be a marvellous flower display behind us. Well, we've got it again here now. And I don't know whether you've seen the YouTube video, Titivate in Felling Park. It shows lots of you working your little socks off, struggling to get these as beautiful as they are. It's on YouTube. You'll have to find out how to get it because you're there. Some of you look pretty ugly, obviously, but the work that you've done is just so fun. This is not in memory of war. This is not in memory of heroes in any sense of bravery or anything. It's in memory of people. The people who went away and the people who died and the people who came back damaged and injured and who were still loved and has still been remembered 100 years later. I think this has been a very beautiful event. A lot of people have worked so hard to do it. It says a lot about Felling that there's still a band up there, and that there are still banners all over the place, and that there's a Felling male voice choir, and that there are hundreds of school children who are prepared to be helpful and polite and listen and work to remember the past. So I want to congratulate absolutely everybody who's involved, and I want to say that this is a very wonderful event indeed. Thank you very much indeed.